everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of Hot Takes, where we discuss some hot takes from last week of Hearthstone Grandmasters. My name is TJ, and joining me, as always, is my very special guest, Sottle. Sottle, how you doing today? You ready to debate some hot takes?
I'm always ready, TJ. I was born ready for this. Let's go.
Yeah, well, you got beaten so badly last week that we couldn't even release the episode. It was redacted, deleted completely off the internet, so let's hope you have some better luck next week. But just a quick go over the rules. We will present a hot take. Sottle will defend his side of the argument, and I will get the rebuttal. We'll have 60 seconds to do it. I will award points at my own discretion, and then at the end we'll declare a winner, which will very likely be me. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into hot take number 1. Zoo Warlock decks should not be playing any charge minions.
Well, TJ, we've already heard your side in its entirety on the Americas broadcast. We know where you stand, but I think it's entirely too reductive to say that they should not be playing charge minions. The answer is that it's matchup dependent, and that it does improve a decent amount of matchups, and it's a reasonable meta call for people to be making coming into a tournament like GM where you have to predict your deck's lineups. It's one thing to be sitting there on your high and mighty caster perch, TJ, and you're saying, oh, these charge minions aren't working. It doesn't mean that they shouldn't have been there in the first place, because they could just be predicting different matchups that weren't the ones that they faced.
Well, Sottle, I mean, I have about an hour's worth of content, if you watch the broadcast back from this weekend, of me arguing why you should definitely not play charge minions. We only saw Wolf Rider go face twice out of 8 games total sample size. The deck with charge minions in it only won a single game out of that 8-game sample size. There was some Wolf Rider wins, but it just feels like you should be playing better early game tempo minions in a tempo metagame. Demon Hunter's not going anywhere. Warrior's not going anywhere. And those decks, the charge minions, they're just trading in. You may as well have things that let you fight for the board better, and I have no faith in it. Wolf Rider was trading way too much. It might as well be something else. Put in some Hench Clan Hogsteeds if you're going to trade things.
He's still going.
I can't
TJ,
see it. Even Nalgidon, and I'm still going. Nalgidon messaged me in between, or I messaged him and asked, like, why the charge minions? He said that it's better in the mirror matchup. They were losing the mirror matchup. Because the early board doesn't matter anywhere and you're going to lose it. Wasn't the case. They were just getting crushed. So that was the only game that Charge Zoo won. Wolf Riders, those Booger Warriors, those Stone Toe Spores out of here. And, yeah, that was about exactly 60 seconds. Next hot take. It is unjustifiable to not be banning Warrior in this Conquest metagame.
Of course it's unjustifiable not to be banning Warrior in this Conquest metagame. Warrior is by far and away the best deck, and that becomes immediately apparent in GM, where the players are actually playing it at close to optimal level. Ladder stats might report something different. Your testing group of not top-tier players might report something different, but when you get to the highest level, Warrior is the deck that can do everything. It proved that with like a 78% win rate in the times it was left up here in GM. Like, no, you cannot leave this deck up.
As strong as I do think Warrior is, I think everybody else is just bringing bad other decks. No list seems to be refined right now. None of the other classes seem to have an agreed upon list for that archetype. I think that Warrior is just the deck that players have found the right list for. That's why it's the most consistent across all players, except for Swids, because he's still bringing Bomb Warrior. But I think players just need to go back to their list, find things that work better against Warrior, and then you can fully justify leaving it up, and we can go back to a world where we don't see Demon Hunter anymore. I think that's perfectly reasonable. Players are just playing bad decks.
Utter nonsense, TJ. Warrior's the deck with the most variation. Every deck is completely different, to the point where you troll me on air by naming each deck that has one card different from the other one, something completely different, and they're all insane. Your argument is nonsense.
Look at the Americas this week. There was, across every single Warrior deck, which almost everybody brought, there was only a single card difference among each individual list. Only a single card, and I think it was like injured Tol'Vir or no injured Tol'Vir. That was the only difference between those lists.
TJ, my argument was based on the good players, so I don't want to talk about Americas, okay?
Fair point. Half a point award to you, Sottle. Congratulations. Hot take number 3. Rogue sucks. That's it. That's the hot take.
Nice. Okay. Nice and simple. I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, it pains me. I'm going to continue to stick up for Rogue, TJ. I did it pretty consistently throughout the broadcast. I think we were just looking at an amount of variance. I think Rogue teched right and built the right way. You know, looking at those Frozen Shadow Weavers for a Demon Hunter metagame and that sort of thing. I still think it's 50 or close to 50 in a lot of matches against the field. And when you consider how powerful some of the decks we're seeing are right now, finding a better solution that is, you know, better than nearly 50% against the field is really, really hard to do. So, like, comparatively, no, I don't think Rogue sucks, because I think just about anything else you can bring in that spot sucks way more.
I'm not going to go with the argument that things suck more, because that's not the hot take. It's just that Rogue sucks, and I think it does. Look at its win rates across every region. It's in like the 30s. I think in Americas it was in like the 20s. Even Highlander Rogue, which was performing the best out of any Rogue, is still below a 50% win rate. In a Conquest metagame, I don't think you can just have this deck that's 40% against the field and just say, all right, yeah, this fits. Every single matchup was coming down to like Rogue mirrors because it was just losing against everything else. I think we see a realistic world where a lot of players are cutting Rogue next week and trying new things. And Sottle, it sucks.
TJ, you know what? I think I picked the wrong side on this one. You might be right. We've all seen the spreadsheet. We know Rogue sucks.
And with that, I have unlocked a new secret bonus point, which is Sottle agrees with me. So I get 2 points for winning that side of the argument, and I believe the final score is 4 to 0.5. So once again, TJ is the winner of Hot Takes Episode 4. But that's going to do it from me and Sottle. Thanks so much for tuning in this week, and we'll see you next week for more Hot Takes.